Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Welcome to episode number 305. Today on the Full-Time FBA Show, we are talking about what we wished we'd learned earlier about selling on Amazon. And since I said we, obviously I'm talking with somebody, and that somebody is my wife, business partner, best friend, Rebecca Smotherman. What's up, Rebecca?
That's me. I'm the other part of the weed who's going to be talking about this today. All right, so let's get into it. We're so glad you're joining us today. You're going to kind of act as a stand-in for our past selves as we're talking today about what we wish we'd known earlier in our Amazon selling journey. I guess this is kind of like a therapy exercise. Is that getting a little too out there?
Nah, just go with it.
Okay, so there's these counseling exercises where you write a letter to your younger self and you're thinking through the lessons that you've learned and the ways you've grown as an adult. And this episode is going to be a bit like that. You and I, Stephen, have been discussing lately some ways that we look back at our early days of selling on Amazon and we see things that we wish we had known back then. So we're going to share those lessons on the podcast today with you, our dear listener.
Yeah, and so if we could sit down with our past selves on day one of selling on Amazon or even day 100, we have a few things we would like to share with our past self. I mean, my day one was back in 2011. Rebecca's, her day one was back in 2013.
And I can think of a few things that 2013 Rebecca definitely needed to know and understand better.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all? So today let's talk about some of those, what those lessons are, and we'll see if there are the things that could help Amazon newer sellers, even experienced sellers right now, who are working through their Amazon business today.
All right, let's do it.
So our goal in sharing these lessons is that you should be able to fast track your success. I mean, obviously, sometimes you need to try something out for yourself and learn from your own mistakes. But other times, I mean, there's just no reason to go through that hardship if you can learn from somebody else. So the first thing I would like to say back to 2011 Stephen or 2013 Rebecca, or even to a 2025 podcast listener is this: you don't need to hustle more. You just don't. You don't need to hustle more. And that's contrary to what a lot of folks on the internet might tell you. It might not be what you're seeing on TikTok. I mean, there are people whose entire internet persona is about how to build up a side hustle. And I get that having an extra income is great and necessary for a lot of people. I just wish there was a better name for it than a side hustle, because hustle can really only take you so far.
Yeah, amen, brother. I am too tired to keep hustling.
Yeah, same here. And we don't have to live and work that way all the time. I mean, a better way is to run an Amazon business, is to build up systems within your daily and weekly schedules that will make your success come much easier than if you just work harder and hustle more.
Yeah, hustling is the way to fast track burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there in our FBA business. It is not fun. It's a recipe for quitting completely if you're not super careful. I would definitely agree and would tell our earlier Amazon selves that it's not worth it. There was a time about 4 years ago that I really wasn't sure if I could keep working at our FBA business. I had pushed and pushed so hard. I was always trying to hustle and not miss out on any opportunity, and it just wore me out. We also had a lot going on in our family at that time, and hustle was just a recipe for disaster at that point. I was exhausted. I didn't have any desire to build anything in our business, to be creative, or try any new ideas on Amazon. I was just pushing and working and trying to get things done rather than having any energy or enjoying our business at all. And I do want to say there are times when you really do need to work hard and it's busier than other times, or you need to put in some extra hours to make the most of an opportunity. One thing that comes to mind is like that build up to Q4. That's definitely one of those times. Or if you need to do a sprint where you're ramping up a certain level of inventory, you're trying to build cash flow, there's times when you need to put in that effort. But I'm just saying that's not sustainable day in and day out for months or years on end. And if that's the only thing your business has to keep it going, that's going to fail.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so instead of hustle, Work at building systems that keep things purring like a well-oiled machine, building sourcing routines, keeping to a schedule, including planned rest, hiring help with the prep work, maybe hiring a virtual assistant to help with online tasks, build SOPs. SOPs means standard operating procedures, or use templates to help you automate routine tasks that you're doing. I mean, when you have systems in place, it keeps things running smoothly. When you get to those points where you don't have the bandwidth to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, none of us should be reinventing the wheel anyway.
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, so the next thing we would go back and tell those sweet little baby sellers, Stephen and Rebecca, is this: cash flow is king in this business.
Sweet little baby sellers. Were we ever that young?
I mean, we were, and you were sweet. I don't know about me, though.
Yeah, anyway, cash flow. It's a big deal.
Yes. So when we were first getting started, we didn't have much capital. We were very, very concerned about every individual item meeting super strict ROI parameters. I mean, I'm talking over 100% ROI on literally everything in our inventory. And that could be a good way to grow your capital, but it could also get pretty slow if all you're looking for when it comes to your sourcing criteria is ROI. I mean, in those early days, because though the way Amazon was set up then with absolutely zero long-term storage fees, yes, that was a thing. I miss it. We sourced items that could literally take 1 to 2 years to sell away back then. And we didn't think twice about it because the ROI was high enough and we didn't care that we would have to wait. We even taught the importance of including long tail items in your inventory and having a balanced inventory of fast nickels, slow dimes, and super slow quarters, and that worked at that time. But things on Amazon, it changed. And it's become more and more necessary to source only fast-selling inventory. And with that change in the Amazon fee structure, as well as greater availability of the data to show us what those fast seller items were, we came to the realization that we could have more cash flow in those early days if we focused more on fast selling inventory and not so obsessed with the super high ROI at the expense of having our capital tied up for so long.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things where hindsight is 2020. We got to where we are today by doing what we did 10 years ago and building on it, and things work great now, so it all worked out. But yeah, it's also definitely a case of what would our business have looked like if we had learned more about the importance of cash flow back then? So now we look much more closely at our metrics like sell-through rate, and we obsess over sourcing criteria like sales velocity more than we look at having a crazy high ROI. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still want to get the highest ROI possible, but I'm fine with having a 30% ROI now if that item will sell in less than 30 days. But in 2013, I never would have bought that item. Now I know that if I want to continue to have cash flow so that I can keep sourcing and reinvesting my capital and building up a profit snowball, I have to look at different data points than just the ROI.
Yeah, let's do one more lesson, and this is a big one. To have a successful Amazon business, I cannot be a lone wolf. I mean, I have to be the leader of a team, even if that team is full of people I've never met in real life.
Yeah, I agree. This is a big one. And it's probably also the scariest for a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah, it was a big hurdle for a lot of sellers, but it's so important. I mean, when we first got started selling on Amazon, really got things going, we really scraped together our business from basically nothing. We were in that hustle mode and we had very little cash flow. And we're also trying to do everything all by ourselves. I mean, I got really lucky when I married you and you wanted to join me selling on Amazon. And so I got a life partner and a business partner at the same time, but not everyone is in that same situation where they could have a business partner. And so you're going to have to find other ways to build systems or put in place ways that you're not working on the business all by yourself.
Yeah, we're always talking about outsourcing, and that's the biggest way you can put in place a structure for not trying to go at your business alone. Whether it's hiring someone to help at your house with your prepping and shipping, or someone to go out and do your retail arbitrage for you, buy items for you, or if it's a VA who can help with your online sourcing, or someone who can do your Seller Central account maintenance, Or you can find a prep center where you can send OA or wholesale inventory so it doesn't even get shipped to your house in the first place.
Yeah, and it can be as simple as joining an online community where you can ask questions and get mutual support from other FBA sellers. And we offer that for you with our Full-Time FBA Facebook group. In fact, you can go to fulltimefba.com/Facebook and you can join that. You can also join our coaching cohort. I mean, the whole reason we created the Full-Time FBA was that we wanted to help other sellers build up their Amazon business in a way that's sustainable and profitable for the long term. And we know how much easier that is with the help and support of others rather than trying to do it all alone.
Yeah, I think that's a good place for us to wrap things up for this episode. You can join us at Full-Time FBA. You can join the newsletter list at fulltimefba.com/subscribe. Or you can join Momentum FBA to fast track your success at fulltimefba.com/momentum. We have an awesome 30-day RA sourcing sprint coming up inside Momentum FBA, and that's a great way that you can make some swift progress in your business without trying to go it alone. You can find that at fulltimefba.com/momentum. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As always, you can find any of the links we mentioned and the show notes at fulltimefba.com/305 because this is episode number 305.
And next week on the show, we're going to be discussing the mental speed bumps on the road to a full-time income. And we'll discuss that next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.